Dude, we're finally here.
We're here. We made it.
Live stream is up. Had a little little difficulties at first, but we got it going.
Yep.
I'm excited to finally be here.
Yep.
Finally talking about the season.
Yep. Also means we're closer, that much closer to the beginning of the season.
Exactly. Before we start going into too much farther, we do want to thank everybody that has followed us through this time so far on TikTok, Instagram, on here on YouTube and Twitter. Super thankful for the support so far, and hopefully that just keeps going and we can build a nice community here. A little bit about the Dakota Goons and who we are. We're from South Dakota, played hockey together. We're pretty much brothers.
Yeah, known each other since we were grade school, second grade, first grade.
So we've known each other forever, and we decided let's just get into it. Hockey's just growing. Let's just help it grow, and not just the NHL. We also want to help out South Dakota.
Yep, local.
So we're going to be talking a little bit about South Dakota hockey every once in a while. With that being said, any high school guys out there that have any videos from hits to goals, assists, nice plays, whatever it is, and you want them featured on here or even on our social medias, we'd love to do that and get the name out there and pretty much showcase all you guys, because I know there's so much talent here.
Oh yeah.
And we don't get talked about that enough. We played here in South Dakota. We know there's talent. We played against it.
Team South Dakota goes to these huge tournaments and pretty much wins them all.
Exactly.
So
and we know a good buddy of ours, Jagger.
Yep.
That he won back to back with his team, and
correct.
So yeah, we're super excited for all those guys this year, but our main focus is the NHL.
Yep.
And we're gonna get right into it.
Sure.
Our first 4 episodes are gonna be all about the divisions. We're going to go through each division and kind of go through the recap of last year, how it all went down, and then get into what we think it's going to look like this year. So first up is the Atlantic Division, as you can tell by our title. Super excited. We have to start with the Atlantic. I see other people going with the Pacific, which I understand. Got to talk about the Edmonton Oilers. We'll get to those guys.
Yep.
But you got to talk about the reigning champs, the Florida Panthers. That's who we're going to talk about right away. They made the playoffs. They won the Stanley Cup. Record of 52 wins, 24 losses, and 6 overtime losses. They were a great home team at 26, 13, and 2. Away, they still are pretty much the same at 26, 11, and 4. Their PK and their power play rankings were in the top 10, 8th for the power play, and 6th in the PK. I think those are very important at all times, no matter what, especially in the playoffs. That was very critical.
Very.
But I'll hand it over to Bauer, man. What do you like about the Panthers last year and kind of going on this year?
Basically, almost the same team. They didn't really get rid of too many big players that contributed to that Stanley Cup run. I would say we'd probably look for a same team that come back this year and make a strong run for the cup again. I would say I'm bringing back Chuck. Goalie's coming back. Bobrovsky, Stellaris. He was traded away to Toronto, but it looks like they're going to give their rookie Spencer Knight that backup duty.
Yeah, finally.
Hopefully he can come through. We'll see some good playing time from him. I'm excited to see him play. Another young goalie in the league. Other than that, signed Verhaeghe's back, Bennett, Reinhardt's back, all their top goal scorers and their point getters. I would say I would look for Florida to be in the contention for the cup again next year.
You know, and
heavy.
It's so tough. They always say we'll never live it, but they say it's the toughest thing to do.
Definitely, probably the hardest. I'd say championship to win out of all the pro sports.
Yeah,
it's a journey. It is a battle, gladiator battle to get there.
Exactly, and that's why we love hockey, because it is such a battle. We know just from people that actually won the Stanley Cup, just how much it actually means.
And how many teams go back to back, or even go back there again?
And again, we saw Tampa the few years, but you have to remember that COVID year, and they still won it. I'm not saying they didn't, but it's when you have little breaks here and there that kind of
salary cap hit that was over the players they had. I mean,
it is what it is, and congrats. You know, it's not
still. It's not like it was easy for them to get to that far.
Exactly.
Like
so
still,
to play. I wouldn't imagine how to play in a barn where there's no fans and it's all electronic. Like that's just weird. So
you just hear every sound.
Yeah. So hopefully they never have to do that again. But again, with the Florida, when you have a goaltender that is Bob
unstoppable, basically in the playoffs,
brick wall, man.
Yeah.
There's really an ease to the game when you know that you have a goaltender like that. That's how I think a lot of teams would describe it.
Yeah.
Like when you have a top big goalie that, hey, we know they're going to stop it, we can play our game.
Yeah, that trust is huge for your tendy back there.
So with him behind the pipe, I think they can go far, especially if they get in the playoffs again, which I would assume they will.
Yeah.
If he's on top of his head like he was, they can definitely win it. But again, you know, you're going to have to play another 82 games. Again, he probably won't play all of them, but you know,
it actually might mean Spencer might take a little bit of the workload, a big workload
I would
off
hope
of him, so maybe prepare them for the playoffs.
I would hope so.
Way better rested, because I imagine come playoffs, Spencer's probably not going to see any playing time unless you get a huge blowout and like they had against Edmonton that one time.
So I don't expect any crazy thing to happen.
No, and these guys know what it takes to win that cup, and with that team coming back, they know what they got to do.
Well, like just look at some of these guys, like Sam Reinhart. I remember when he was a Buffalo guy. I was like, he ain't going nowhere. Like he's nothing. But now he's leading his team with 94 points, 57 goals, 37 assists.
Huge year for him.
Matthew, I didn't know Matthew was a playmaker. I was
Good
always
check.
thinking he was a goal scorer, but he's a big
guy.
playmaker, man. And the thing is, that's pretty much their top two lines is their big factors, which is great. But you need to get your bottom line figured out. So the Panthers bring back their top two guys, and or the top five guys, and then their second guy, Evan Rodriguez. He'll be playing alongside, looks like, with Matthew and Sam, which is great. And then the bottom, they went out and looked like they got a brand new fourth line. I don't know too much about them.
No. Boquist, bringing Boquist for a fourth line.
Yeah, and I don't think that's bad. I think they're going to be a veteran line and maybe a little younger guy, I think, in that Mackenzie Endwist, I believe. But, it's, again, people talk about it all the time. It's the bottom six. What can the bottom six do? And
win your games sometimes, honestly.
Well, yeah. So that's what they need. You need a good bottom six, and hopefully they can do that. Yeah. Another little signing they did is on defense is Nate. I'm surprised.
Good old Nate Schmidt.
Yeah.
Yeah. From the Knights and previously on the Caps.
Yeah. So he's chasing that cup. So.
I mean, he's had the experience. He was on the cup run for Vegas when they faced off against Washington after Washington let him go. And then he was there. I don't think he was there. Did he win the cup with Vegas? Was he on that team with Vegas?
He might have.
Other than that, he has experience, and he's coming into a heavy Panthers, and
he's
being on the third line. I think that's that depth talking about, and that's going to come huge. I would say in the playoffs.
I think so too. I'm not sure. They must have lost somebody. I can't remember I don't even remember who would be on defense. Oh, yes. Wow, could I forget that? He went to Calgary Flames.
Yep.
Or no, he went to Seattle.
Kraken.
Brandon Montour.
Yeah.
He went to Seattle. So they lose him, which
that's a big loss.
Is a big loss. He's
hard.
A big. But he earns it. He earns his contract.
He did.
And
stellar year.
But yeah, so that's a big guy. That's a big space to fill. But I don't know. But overall, Florida, man, they're going to be a top team again.
Yeah, and we'll do our rankings at the end.
Oh yeah, we'll give you guys good rankings of everything. But
we'll show you what we projected.
But yeah, Panthers definitely a team to watch for. You want to watch for them for sure because defending champs.
Yep.
So
of course.
Next team. And by the way, Florida Panthers was ranked number 5th overall in standings, in league standings.
Yeah.
That's kind of how we're going down here. Actually, we're going through how they finished off divisionally. So Panthers were the number 1 ranked team in the Atlantic Division. Number 2 here was the Boston Bruins. They were 7th in the league with 47 wins, 20 losses, 15 overtime losses for 109 points. Their home were 24, 11, and 6. Away, they were 23, 9, and 9, which that's pretty impressive. They ranked their power play top 15 and PK top 10. I think the big thing that came out of here, they traded away their goalie duo, I guess.
Yeah.
They
tandem.
There you go.
Yeah.
Allmark went to the Senators. They picked up Jonas
Corpusalo.
There we go.
Bringing the backup for Swayman.
Exactly, and I don't think that's a bad move.
No. I mean, it's not going to be as strong as Allmark and Swayman were last year, with Swayman ultimately taking over and signing on that big extension and everything with him.
Yeah. With Jonas, I will say he played for the Kings and he was good.
Yep.
I think if he's got a good team in front of him, he can play good. So he was in Ottawa, didn't have a great team in front of him, and he suffered. Yep. So I think this trade works out for everyone. But yeah, they also they get Mark Kasklet. I don't know. Kastelic. I suck at these dudes.
Kastelic and then a first-round pick.
And a first-round pick. So
in the draft.
I think honestly Boston kind of wins this trade. I don't think Allmark.
So.
Yeah, Allmark's not going to do bad. He won 22 games, lost 10, 7 in overtime with a save percentage of .915. So that's not terrible.
If he's traded, he'll get paid. He's in Ottawa. Hopefully they have a good rebuild.
Yeah.
He come back in the next
exactly.
couple years.
And we'll get down to Ottawa, of course.
Yep.
Again, Boston. One thing I do like is the Tyler Johnson professional tryout.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. I hope.
We'll see.
I've always liked Tyler. I liked him watching him in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. I liked watching him in Tampa when he was in
Tampa too.
That was before then. That was way before back then.
Yeah. So
he was a fast little guy.
He was. Yeah. And so, I understand. We've said it before to each other that the guys that we kind of grew up watching are now on PTOs, man. It's just like,
so dude, to see that happening.
And so it sucks, but again, I do hope. I think that's a great fit. I hope he gets the tryout, gets a roster spot, but
good veteran presence.
Exactly. Man, I don't know. What do you say about the lineup, man? Go through who you're. I'm excited for Pasta.
Honestly,
right?
The pasta sauce. You can't not love watching him play, regardless if you're a rival or whatever you are. Pasta's always going to bring. He's always going to bring the goal scorer and the sniping. Just the antics. Then of course, you hate him, but if he's on your team, you're going to love him. Brad Marchand, the rat. Of course, you can't go wrong with him. And then you got Coyle and Zaka and McAvoy. I think those are all solid middle lineup guys. I mean, they're not too heavy. Pasta with 110 points, 47 goals, 63 assists, a good plus-minus 21. He was their top goal scorer, top playmaker, and everything. So they have the other guys to follow suit. I think they could make a strong case for this upcoming year, but
for sure. And they also picked up Lindholm.
Yeah, that's gonna help.
He's gonna play that center, first line center for them.
Yeah, because that might leave you a little bit of missing a Bergeron.
Yeah, that you can't replace him.
No,
you
of course
just
not.
won't be able to.
No.
But this, Lindholm will help. I feel like they're again. We said
solid
this with,
first two.
Yeah,
lines.
solid first two, of course.
Solid.
It's just I think honestly their third line's not too bad either.
No.
Trent Frederick, he's a young guy that's still kind of making a name for himself. But they need a 30-plus goal scorer on top of what they have.
Something to help Post out a little bit more on the points. Marchand's getting up there in age. Who knows how long he can be able to do his antics and be how the way he is, especially if he's taking bigger hits.
Exactly.
Getting up there, it might be hurt. Getting on the IR more.
Yeah, and defensive wise though, they're stacked. Honestly,
defensively, yeah, they're looking good.
Charlie said in an interview that he's now the smallest guy on the team, and which is a good thing because Charlie's is a big part of that defense, and now that you have other guys that can contribute, it's gonna be quite fun for Boston in a way.
It's been an interesting year for them. It might be a little off, different than the past seasons they've had with winning. I don't know.
I think it's
see a little bit of drop in them this year. I think, in my opinion, but you never know. You can't count Boston out.
You can't. Yeah,
you can't really ever count them out.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a tough year for them. But I think if Pasta does Pasta things, he's gonna keep his team up there.
Mm-hmm.
Goaltending again. The big thing is gonna be goaltending.
Yeah.
When you have they had two great goaltenders. You get
the best goalie tandem in the league last year, I believe.
So, yes, you lose that. I think
still gaining Korpisalo back.
I think he's going to be just fine.
I think so. Yeah.
But again, it's going to be a learning curve. I'm assuming Swayman's going to get more playing time than last year because they pretty much split it.
Yeah.
Swayman had 43 games. Allmark had 39. So Swayman just had a few more games, 4 more games than him.
Yeah.
So he's gonna get more, and that's the thing. So hopefully
in the end backfire. Yeah, but we'll see how that leads off in the playoffs if he's got too much time.
Yeah.
It's that wear and tear throughout the season.
Yeah, and again, it depends if they get there.
This
is gonna be a tough division.
It's a tough division.
It is.
Those first 5 teams, honestly, could go either way almost.
Yep.
I would say.
I think this is definitely one of the top divisions, if not the top. I always say Central's is probably the toughest. I think I could probably agree with it again now this year too, but this is definitely very close. And but I don't know. You never know. I think after last year, it's kind of tough to see them get to where they want to be again.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So
it'll be interesting to see.
So now, we'll go after Boston. The good old Toronto Maple Leafs.
Rivals.
A 40 rival. They finished 10th in the league last year with a 46 wins, 26 losses, and 10 overtime losses for 102 points, and they also made the playoffs. Home record was a 22 wins, 15 losses, and 4 overtime losses. Away was 24, 11, and 6. Their power play was in the top 10 at 7, and their PK was at 23.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's
not good.
A bad
that's
thing.
That's hurtful.
That's probably why they don't go past the first round.
Yeah.
I think they actually didn't they last year? Anyways, they don't get far.
But
they don't get far.
With that talent, you would think you would make it to at least the conference.
Their top 4 is right there on the top. The leaderboard. They signed some goaltenders. They signed Matt Murray to a 1-year deal. Anthony Storlis, right?
Yeah, Stolarz.
Yep. For 2 years at 2.5.
It's pretty much going to be a goalie tryout.
Yeah. So they have Wool there. He played 23 games. They
probably get the starting spot.
Yeah. Wow. He did decent again.
Yep.
They need a goaltender that's just going to be strong.
It was
That's
inconsistent goaltender.
Yeah.
That didn't help at all either, especially in the playoffs. That goaltender, it matters. Because if you can't trust your Tandy back there, then it's going to be a tough run to get through each and every game.
Exactly. Max Pacioretty is at a PTO trial with them, and that would be huge. I love it, but I also hate it.
Yeah,
because he gets hurt.
Yeah.
He gets hurt.
I know. Yeah, I was disappointed with his stint in Washington. I really wish he could have maybe had one more year with us, just to maybe try to show out more and be there at least better play, not be injured the whole time.
Yeah, so I think he would be great because I think he'd work awesome on the second power play probably, and he'd probably be a third line guy, third, fourth line, just because you don't want him to get hurt.
Yeah, I don't know. With the talent, you almost have to put him at that fourth line.
Yeah,
you can't.
That's true. I'm really excited though too. They got a new coach named Greg. I'm gonna botch his name.
Berube. Yeah, Berube.
I don't know. He is a Stanley Cup champion with the St. Louis Blues back in 18-19.
Yep. He's a winner.
He is a winner.
That's what Toronto needs.
That championship he was the first. So that championship, it was his first year with St. Louis.
Oh.
So
pretty impressive first year. That's pretty hard to
St. Louis had the right guys. They had the right guys.
Yeah.
And they needed that extra push.
Yep.
I think Toronto has the right guys. They've had the right guys for a while.
Mm-hmm.
They just haven't had the right coach, and I think this would be the right coach for them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how it's not a win-win situation for these guys.
I think it's just their biggest flaw is their goaltending. Honestly, that's holding them back me right now. Wall get another year, maybe have a better year this year, and then with Stellares probably as their backup. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Murray, I think he's probably gonna. Yeah, I know he's gonna try out for it, but I think he's probably gonna be in the AHL. Martin Jones probably the same thing. So we'll probably see Wall and Stellares up there.
I'm not sure if Martin Jones is part of the team. Maybe he is, but
I think he actually might have been traded.
Yeah, that or he signed somewhere else. But either way, yes, their goaltending is a big question mark.
And the other thing is Marner. Marner needs to show up in the playoffs.
Yeah, because he's
a ghost. He's a ghost out there.
He's on a big contract
now. Yeah, I think he's got extended finally. I believe. I think. Or I don't know. They're working on it. I know they're working on it because he doesn't want to play anywhere other than Toronto, so he's not willing to go anywhere else. But they're trying to come up with some negotiations. I'm not sure on how that's going. But I mean, I would love Marner to come to Washington. I doubt that's not going to happen because I do not. Caps, just bring us everybody. That's fine by me. But I'm sure he's going to be staying. Hopefully he can show up more so in the playoffs because they really need him. They need that help. Matthews needs that help. They all need that help. Nylander needs the help. And I think I'd give him another strong year. Hopefully, I don't know. We'll see how it's tough. I don't want to. With Toronto, it's tough to predict how they go. The regular season, they're solid, I think. But when it comes to playoffs, they're a shell of themselves.
I wouldn't be surprised to see if this is the year they kind of go like that all in.
It could be.
And I think if they
at the deadline, if they're not up to where they're at, they could make a big move.
I think so.
Getting rid of somebody, one of these guys, top guys.
I think what we've been saying is like their D's. Like we'll get into their defense here, but the offense is
stellar.
Yes, awesome. They need to work on that PK. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
But if the goaltending's not there by trade deadline, I see a big move coming.
Yeah.
Why not go for a big goaltender? Because I think that would be the best thing.
Because there's none available. They'd have to trade for one. As of right now, there's none available.
I'll tell you this right now. Go for a backup and Jonathan Quick, baby. Bring him out of New York and get him to Toronto. I would love to see him run with these guys. But yeah, I don't know. That's what I think. I think hopefully out of those three, Anthony's such a young goaltender.
I think they had Samsonov. That's who it was. Or no, maybe that was.
Yeah, I think
Samsonov was their goal, and I know he's a hit and miss. Hit and miss. He can come up with those big saves, but he lets the easy ones in, and that really is demoralizing for a team. If those easy ones, those little flutters get by, that's really hard.
Yeah. So with those top four, you can't go wrong with their top four. You really can't. Matthews with 107 points, 69.
Matthews being Matthews.
Yeah, 69 goals, 38 assists. Nylander with 98 points, 40 and 58. Mitch Marner, 85. He only played 69 games. But 85 with 26, 59, and Jonathan with 65 points, 29 and 36. And then you got Morgan Riley out there, 51 assists for 51 or 58 points.
That's a threat.
That is a threat. Now going to their lineup again, you got, and they also got a good rookie on their first line with Matthew Knives.
Yeah.
He showed up last year, and when you're going to be playing with probably Matthews
they
and
got
Mitch.
depth.
Yeah,
man.
they do.
Why can't
like,
they get past
Max
the hump?
Domi and third line.
I mean, McCann up in the second line.
You got Ryan Reeves. You got your tough guy.
Yeah.
I think.
Other big guy.
Just think of both Maxes on the third line, dude. Man, they got depth. Yeah, they have the depth for sure.
They have a team.
And then look at their D pair. They went out and got Chris Tanev, who's a stud.
And
he's a solid guy.
Yep.
And yes,
Ekman Larson, huge vet coming in.
I don't see anything wrong except for their goaltending.
Yeah, and there's not much of a weak spot.
No, I think they just got to find the right. I think they got 3 young guys. They just got to find the one.
Matt, and you said like your coach, they had new head coach.
Coach.
First year being in St. Louis to win a cup. Maybe that's the same story here we have in Toronto this year.
I wouldn't be surprised.
A Cinderella story for those guys, I think.
I wouldn't. I'm super excited. I am. I'm really excited for this. Just from researching about the coach and everything. The coach, his bad season, he was like, I think out of all the years he's been coaching, he had one bad season where his worst was 4th overall in the division.
Yeah,
4th, dude.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
crazy,
good. That's
man.
Pretty good.
He's a top coach out there, and he was sitting on the bench, not doing nothing this last year. Now he's signed here, and I think it's a good fit for everyone around.
It's exciting stuff there in Toronto.
Very much so. Now we go from a blue team to another blue team in the Tampa Bay Lightning.
All the way to the north, all the way to the south. There we go.
Tampa Bay Lightning, they 13th in the league last year with 45 wins, 29 losses, 8 overtime losses for 98 points, and they made the playoffs. Homestand 25-11-5. Away, they were 20-18-3. Power play, number 1 in the league last year. PK, number 5th in the league.
Strong.
Awesome, man. That's what you need.
It's huge.
When you have a good power play, which is gonna look different now.
Very different.
And I wonder why. So when because you had a threat on your first.
I mean,
you
get rid of Stammer, but you bring in Gensel.
Yes.
I know it's not. That's not the same, but it alleviates that hole a little bit. It fills it a tiny bit.
Yes.
I mean, not as much as what Stamkos brought, but it helps.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one again. Yeah, big things they didn't get rid of, but Stamkos signed with Nashville. That's gonna be a big hurt. They signed Cam Akerson, who I believe was at the Flyers last couple years, or maybe it was Columbus.
I think it's Columbus. The Blue Jackets.
Anyways, he played 70 games last year, 13 goals, 15 assists for 28 points, minus 22. You think that was terrible, but Stamkos is over here with 40 and 41 for 81 points, and he had a negative 21.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, Stamkos had 9 more games than Cam, but I don't know.
The Lightning team scored a lot of points, but they let a lot go by.
Yep.
They had high-scoring games and nothing low-scoring, and it's definitely not going to help in the long run if we're going for a cup run. Yeah. You can score a lot of points, but if you're letting them all in, that just balances out, evens it out.
Yeah, for sure. I'll go to Jake first. So yes, we got Jake. They got Jake for 7 years, $9 million a year. From Carolina. I was really hoping he was going to LA, but oh well. I think a lot of people were hoping. I think everybody was going for that. They did extend Hedman, and this is where I think there's more to the Stamkos thing than we think.
It's got to be.
Because Hedman gets an extension for 4 years, $8 million, and that's exactly what Stamkos got.
Yeah.
So everyone's saying, well, Stamkos wanted 4, Lightning only wanted to get him 3, and it's like 1 year is a big difference to keep your captain, to keep your guy.
A long-term guy.
So I don't know.
I
think there was something else there, but again,
this probably was an underlying issue or something. But I'm sure we'll never find out. We'll never know. Maybe in the next 5 years, maybe he'll come out and say it. Maybe, who knows? But I think they left on good terms, good enough terms to where I don't think, and there's no any bad blood or anything between those two, but between him and Tampa. And so I mean, but the Tampa also they have Kucherov, who's he's way up there with
144 points.
Yeah, I mean, ridiculous. And so, but I mean, having him and Stamkos, so like,
that's why the power play was so high, because you could give it to either one.
Yeah, and even Hedman too. Even Hedman too up there. I mean,
well, yeah, on the point,
he's dishing out 13 goals, but still 63 assists.
Well, yeah, when you have Stamkos on one side, I just think you have two Ovies and they're both on both sides. What are you gonna do? Who do you guard? Because they're both.
You can't double team both.
Yeah,
so you just leave the middle wide open.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's gonna be tough. With that, they also, they have young guys. You know, Point's still young. Brandon Hagel's still young. So, and then Jake's coming in. He's young. Yeah. So, if they can keep that power play and PK,
they keep Vasilevsky at their tendy.
Yeah.
And you know how he is going to be.
Yeah, he's just like Bob, man.
Yep.
Like, he's a brick wall.
Yep.
He's so composed with everything.
No worries there.
Yeah. So we expect Jake to be on the first line with Point and Kucherov. Cam is going to be slot in at that second or third maybe.
Yeah.
Depends if they go off for anybody else, or maybe a rookie does really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Connor Sheary's been pretty hot too. So him and Nicholas Paul.
Yeah, he was huge, I think, for them in the playoffs.
Yeah, so they'll be fun.
He came back, through.
D pair, I think it's kind of funny. Ryan McDonough came back.
Yeah.
They
a little bit of a reunion.
They lose a big D guy to Seattle. Or no, I'm sorry, to Utah Hockey Club.
Yep, the Michkov, whoever, I can't remember. I don't even know who or not. Oh, those crazy names. Yeah, that was another big loss that could bring him down a little bit, because that's a tough one to replace. McDonough's not gonna replace him fully.
He's a solid D man.
Solid.
But he's not young anymore. You know, so
he's not who he used to be.
So yeah,
we grew up watching him.
Yeah.
So I remember him even on the Rangers.
But just think if he would have been there with Steven, man.
That'd be fun. Yep. And then they add in JJ Moser too, back there on the third line pair.
Yep. So again, I think with this division being so tough, does Cam and Jake have a learning curve, and maybe they can't? I don't know.
I mean, you lose Stamkos, but you gain back Atkinson and Gensel to replace that. So that's two guys each for first and second line. I think, and the power play is probably not going to be as strong. It's not going to be as good as it was.
Unless Jake can be. Is Jake a left or a right hand? I don't know.
I don't remember what he was, but a left winger. So I'm assuming he's probably a lefty. But I can't imagine they'd be as good as it was last year. But that's a lot if Jake can get back to how he was.
Yeah.
Coming off the injury and everything, because he had a short year with Carolina.
Yeah, can't remember what it was, but I know he was hurt a little bit, and then he got traded.
Traded midway through the season.
Yeah. So
that's the other thing too. I'm surprised they didn't re-sign Carolina. I'm surprised Carolina didn't re-sign him. But
we'll get to Carolina. They
had a lot.
They had other guys they needed to sign.
Yeah, they had a lot.
One of them actually got hurt, and he's out for the year. So, anyways, but Jake's a good sign. I think playing with Point, I'm excited. It's gonna be a fun year for them as well. Goaltending's not a factor. Coaching's not a factor.
No, I'm not worried on those fronts.
Defense is still looking pretty solid.
Yeah.
It's just going to be that offense. Can they? The big question is, can they produce without their old captain?
Yeah, we'll see if Kucherov will take over captain.
I think
Hedman. Probably Hedman. You're probably right. We'll take over. But so I don't have any much of a difference at all, but still should be strong.
Yeah, they'll still be a fun game or a fun team to watch for sure.
Always.
But it's gonna be more fun to see. Did they screw up and not give him that one more year or what? But it is what it is. But yeah, just think if they had Stamkos and Jake.
That would have never happened, but that would have been
crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways, now to a team that almost made it. It was.
Man, imagine if they did last year. What a last game of the season. Holy crap! Oh, man.
Anyways, I don't know if you guys know who we're talking about. We're talking about Detroit Red Wings. 18th overall in the league with 41 wins, 32 losses, 9 overtime losses for 91 points. I don't even know how they missed it. I don't even know how it went down, but they missed it by something. with the Washington Capitals.
Yep, Cap snuck in.
Somehow. Anyways.
Probably shouldn't have, but,
Anyways, home record is at 23-13-5. Away record 18-19-4. Power play top 10 at 9. And PK top 15 at 14th overall. I think a big thing here, just at those stats, their away needs to be a little bit better.
Yeah.
PK could be better, but overall not too terrible.
No.
But
not for the team they have.
What didn't they do this offseason?
Yeah, holy cow.
A lot of signings, a lot of re-signings, extensions, this and that. We'll just go right through them. I think the big one is Tarasenko. Big signing.
Yeah,
Tarasenko throughout the year played 76 games last year, 23 goals, 35 assists, 55 points for a plus 13.
Yeah, and coming back to the old Tarasenko who used to be with St. Louis.
Yeah, it's crazy. Playoffs last year because he was part of the Florida Panthers.
Yep.
He had 24 games, 5 goals, 4 assists for 9 points for a plus 4 rating.
Yeah.
That's very good in the playoffs.
Yep, I would say so.
I think they picked him up fantastic for them. I think he's a good veteran guy, and I think
pairing up with Kane.
Dude.
Whoever thought when Kane was on Chicago, and you had Tarasenko on the St. Louis, whoever thought those two would pair up together later on in the years in their career?
Never guessed that one.
Never.
They also go sign, I think their big thing is their goaltending. So they go sign Jake Campbell and Cam Talbot from the Kings.
Yep.
They also signed defenseman Gostisbehere from Carolina and signed Eric.
Gostisbehere signed with Carolina, so they lost Gostisbehere.
Okay, so sorry.
They lost one of their strong defensemen who had good points.
Good points.
That's kind of a big loss.
Yeah, he had 56 points, 10 goals, 46 assists, and he goes to Carolina.
They bring in Gustafsson, though.
They bring in Eric Gustafsson, yes.
To help a little bit with that.
Yep, and they also bring in another goaltender, Reimer.
He signed with Buffalo.
Or he signed with Buffalo. Gosh, I'm reading this wrong, dude.
Yeah, so they replaced they replaced Reimer with Talbot with Campbell or Talbot.
Yes. They extend their best rookie, their top not goal scorer, but their top point guy in a very young Raymond at 8 years, $8 million.
Mm-hmm. He's in that draft class with Stützle from Ottawa, and he top 2 guys right there, and they got a great deal with Raymond.
Yeah,
great deal with him.
They also re-signed. That Raymond actually happened today, 3 hours ago.
Yes, that's
really
signing.
Cool. And then they also signed their third line wiener Jonathan Berggren for 1 year at $875,000. The biggest thing I think for this team, other than goaltending, is Larkin. Can Larkin stay healthy?
Yeah, if he can stay healthy, I imagine they honestly make a wild card spot. I would say. I don't know about pushing deep into the playoffs, but they could at least dip their toes in the water a little bit, get some experience for the young guys. Raymond gets some experience in there for leading on to the prior years or for the future years. Losing Gostisbehere, big loss, I'd say, on the defensive side. It's hard. It's going to be hard to fill in, but you bring in Gustafsson to hopefully fill out that out. And the other thing was their goaltending. They didn't have stellar goaltender play. I mean, Lynn's going to come in. I think they're going to, I don't know if he'll be the automatic starter, if they'll have him fight with Husso and Campbell. I don't know, or Talbot. They have a lot of goalies, so I'm sure they're going to battle out. Or not, it's going to be interesting. I'm excited to see Kane again playing with Detroit with Tarasenko now. We'll see how what that duo goes. DeBrinket's coming back.
I think,
It's going to be, and then you got, I think, Mo Seider, another rookie on Detroit. Yep, gets another year coming in.
He's supposed to, so that big thing was Raymond and him were supposed to have the same contract.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to give one higher than the other. But that contract hasn't came out yet. So
we'll see how. I'm sure probably later on in the year, I'm sure he'll more likely get extended.
I think they want him before the season. So that's going to be happening.
See something like that come about. But
yeah.
Detroit team, I don't know. They'll be fun to watch. Yeah. They're a team that's going to be fun to watch.
I think so too. I think
they're going to battle every game. It's going to be a battle.
Yeah,
to the end, full.
I wish we got the
minutes.
stat to see what they did without Larkin, because I feel like without Larkin, they're not a team. To be honest, I could be wrong, but I think Larkin, he only had 68 games, man, and he's a big guy for him. He's almost a point per game. He's their captain, man. He's their guy. So I think if he can stay healthy and be that leader, veteran guy that they need now, they're gonna be a stud team.
Yeah.
Like, just look at this freaking lineup. Like DeBurkett, Larkin, and Raymond.
Yeah,
Dude,
those two lines are scary.
And then you go to JT and Tarasenko and Patty.
Yeah.
Tarasenko and Patty, dude, are gonna be insane.
Yeah. I think that's a good. I'm surprised they're not. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. They I don't know. Those first two lines, you could go back and forth on who's first. I mean, I'm sure. I bet that second line outscores the first line probably just because the talent and able to snipe. Oh, the power play is gonna be. I'm excited to see the power play and how they line that up.
Yeah.
Who's gonna be out on the ice for the first unit?
Their power play needs to be top 5 for sure this year.
Yeah,
their top 2 lines needs to be.
Probably have Tarasenko and Kane, Raymond, Larkin out there.
Yeah.
For sure, at least those 4.
Put Cider up there on point, dude. Oh man, you'd be golden.
Yeah, it's not a bad team all around.
It's really not.
I mean,
Andrew Kopp is not terrible either.
No. It's just their goalies. They're gonna have to figure out their goalies.
Yeah.
Who's gonna be playing during the season? Who's gonna make the rise above? You know, it's gonna be a battle. I mean, I'm interested to see who comes out and who gets the starting spot, or who's gonna be the two that are gonna be going back to back.
Yeah, I think
backup,
it's looking like Cam and Lynn.
You never know. He's a younger guy. He could come through. He could make that. He could have a better. He had a good off season. He trained good.
Well,
he can move up a spot.
It's just gonna be a wait and see with that. But I think kind of just by hearing things, Cam is kind of going to be their starter as of right now, and I wouldn't be surprised to see every other game to see who does play better.
Yeah, you never know. The beginning of preseason will be huge. Preseason will be big for these guys. I would say to see who gets that starting spot.
Yeah, I think Cam is very good. He played for my Kings last year. The games that weren't up to his par was a lot of lack of defense. Defense kind of broke down, and he had to try to make some crazy saves.
Yeah.
But
fishing around.
If you have a good defensive core and you can back, you have to go through 5 guys before it can get to him. And if you guys can learn that logic and play with that mentality, Cam's your guy. So, but no, overall, Detroit. I'm super excited for Detroit. I think they can sneak in, and I think they would be a fun team to watch in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think he'd make it. It would have been fun last year to watch them. It was kind of heartbreaking. That towards the end of the season, oh man, they were winning. Then that last game was just probably one of the best games of the whole entire season, with based on what was on the line. And they had to come back at the end of the game. They score their 1 goal, put it in overtime, and they get the overtime winner. And then, but the team that they needed to lose or whatever, it didn't work out in the way they wanted to. So they didn't. All the right cards had to fit. Didn't. So sadly, they didn't make it. Hopefully this year they can make a better push. Have a more comfortable spot in there. Not have to fight for it in the end.
Exactly. Yeah, Detroit. Super excited to watch you guys. Let's go on to Buffalo. Buffalo is next up. 22 in the league. 39 wins, 37 losses, 6 overtime losses for 84 points. Home record 21, 19, and 1, which ain't terrible. Away record 18, 18, and 5. Should be a little bit better. You always want that away a little bit higher, but power play terrible at 29.
Yeah, almost bottom. Basically bottom.
Yeah, PK 13. Not bad. Not 15. Hey, that's pretty darn good.
Defensively means you're good.
Yeah. They signed James Reiner as a goaltender.
Yep.
They also re-signed their goaltender.
Yeah.
For 5 years at $23 million. I'm not even gonna say his name.
Yeah, Luukkonen.
Yeah.
They re-signed him, and so they'll have him starting with Reimer as a backup. Yep. And what I read was Devin Levy was getting sent down to the AHL. So, that's interesting coming out of Buffalo.
Yeah. So, see how that happens. The one stat I looked at here, before we even go on, I do not like to see a defenseman as their best player.
Dahlin, their top point getter.
For point getter.
Yeah. He's so good, though.
I'm not saying it, dude, he's
like a Gal Makar type.
He's good. I'm not saying he's not good.
His feet are beautiful watching him skate. Watching him skate is.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He's great. I'm glad your D-man is getting you 59 points.
But it's a young team.
Yes.
Tuck, Thompson, Centerman Thompson, huge body.
Thompson,
great young guy.
I'll give Thompson the young, but Tuck is probably a veteran guy now.
Yeah, now.
But he's
still putting up that points on the team. I mean,
Hey, he played 75 games, 59 points.
Yeah.
But again, that's the same as your top defenseman.
Yeah.
I understand your top.
Need more help on the offensive side.
Yeah, they need offensive help big time.
Buffalo has just been it's been rough.
Yeah.
It's been really rough for Buffalo the last few years. A while.
And so you think, okay, what can they do to help with that offense? They went and got some guys. They signed guys, yes.
Zucker's coming in.
But Jason Zucker, I don't think is the
vet.
answer.
No, he's a vet coming in.
He's a great guy. I love him, watching him, but I don't think that's the guy you're like, oh yeah, hit perfect.
They need to make a huge move to pick up a big player.
Yep, they needed to, and they didn't do it.
No, there's not much. I don't know what their books look like either, what their salary cap or what they have able to afford.
But
who knows? I don't know if they were trying to go after Gensel or Stamkos.
Maybe
any of those big names would have been a huge help.
Yeah,
big time on the offensive side.
But they didn't get it. Anyways, they do get a new coach, Lindy Ruff. He started actually in Buffalo back in 1997. We were like 1 year old.
Just born.
And he coached from 97 to 2013 in Buffalo, went to Dallas and New Jersey from 2014 to 2024. And now he's back at Buffalo.
Damn, his time in Buffalo when he was first there was way different than what they're at now.
Yeah. The thing with Lindy, he's been in the league for so long, but he hasn't won a Stanley Cup.
Nah.
He hasn't proved anything. He's not the best season he's ever had. I think was like fourth or third maybe in the division.
No.
So
mid playoffs at least.
No.
None. Any
experience? I think he made playoffs a couple times.
Yeah,
but
a little bit of experience.
Yes, but
interesting move.
So
by
I don't
Buffalo.
know why bring him back. Why, dude? You've been 28 years. You've been coaching.
Yeah, that's a long time.
It's kind of like, dude, it's time to call it quits. You can't win a Stanley Cup. Apparently, is what it looks like. So I think, and I could be wrong. I'm sorry. I'm not. I don't hate the guy, but just from looking at him.
Yep.
His statistics and everything, his stats.
Yeah, interesting stat. Maybe he's good at developing. Maybe that's because I'm right now in Buffalo. They're not worried about getting into the playoffs or winning a cup right now. I think their focus should be on trying to build it. So, I mean, they've got good guys. I just don't know what something is missing that they can't make the push for.
Yeah, they got.
So maybe it is the head coach, but if it's the head coach, then it's really confusing as to why they went out.
Yeah.
And got a guy like this.
Exactly. Owen Power on defense. I think he's going to be another superstar.
Oh yeah. They've got good rookies.
They do.
So it's just like I don't know what it's got to be the coaching, is the way they're being coached.
So I don't know. Maybe I guess the GM and the coach.
Yeah.
Decided, hey, I like what you bring. Let's. Mm-hmm. Now you have 28 years of experience. You're coming back to Buffalo. You're a part of a Dallas team that did really good. New Jersey, you did pretty decent with.
Yeah. But I wonder if what statistic is for the players who left Buffalo who've won a cup now.
Yeah, that is
like
true.
all the big name players.
Sam
Reinhart, Eichel.
Yeah.
Eichel wasn't. I think I don't know if Skinner was on there.
Yes,
I know there's
Skinner
a couple other ones like.
They just lost Skinner.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so like, they're good at developing, but other than that, after they give them away, then they go or have a great another career on another team. So it's interesting for Buffalo.
Yeah. So I don't think anything too crazy with Buffalo this year, but you never know. They could be surprised.
Yeah, we'll see. Some of their players, Tage Thompson. I like watching him play. Their centerman.
That big guy.
He's big,
so
big boy.
Tall.
Big boy.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch.
Exactly. So, Ottawa Senators is number 26 in the league last year, going right into it. 37, 41, and 4 for 78 points. Home record wasn't terrible. They got a winning home record at 21, 18, and 2. Away, they need to really work on that at 16, 23,
It's tough for the
2.
Canadian teams, though, for the away games. That's a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
So far, that's a ways away.
Big thing, power play and PK need to be worked on, as they were 24th power play and 29th in the PK.
Yeah, it's not going to do you good.
So, big things happened with them. They traded to the Capitals for Nick Jensen and a third-round pick, and they also got rid of Jacob Shirik. No, that's totally wrong. Shernick. No, he's right there at the bottom left, dude.
Oh, Churchin.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm excited for him to come to the Caps.
Yeah,
that's a good offensive man.
Nick Jensen leaves the Capitals, comes here. It's kind of a
good D.
Yeah, it's kind of a trade. Honestly, I think Ottawa wins that trade because they get a third-round pick with it. So, not terrible. They also, again, we talked about, they get Allmark, good
get
goaltender.
Their 10 for the year.
Yep. They also signed Nick Cousins, who won the Stanley Cup with the Florida Panthers. And a big thing, too, they get a new coach, Travis Green, played with Vancouver from 2017 to 2022. And he was at New Jersey last year and now with Ottawa. He was in the playoffs in 2019 and 2020 season. And that was his only good season at 4th overall.
Young coach, it looks like.
He is a young coach. He's the same thing as Buffalo. He has, one time he's been in the playoffs, and that was it as a head coach.
A lot less tenure, though. So, he's got a lot of room to grow still, I would say.
And you do have a young team here.
Yeah.
But he was just at New Jersey last year. New Jersey, I think, were so bad because of coaching.
It could be.
And goaltending. I think goaltending was iffy, too.
Ridiculous amount of talent.
So, I don't know. I don't like that sign of a coach for these guys.
Yep.
Where you have developed the guys that need to be developed, and I think it kind of showed with the Devils. They needed guys to somewhat need to be developed, and I don't think it was a good sign for Ottawa.
It'll be interesting here to see how he goes on with Ottawa. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with this.
Yeah,
we'll see. Bringing a younger coach in with some of the younger players, or not even that. It's some of the older guys, like you got Tkachuk, Giroux, like those guys in there. I don't know how well how that'll be received by them, or how they'll receive him.
Again, they got young guys that are hopefully ready to show, hey, we're still a good team. Brady and Tim right there, dude.
Yeah.
74 points.
Yeah, Stutzel the same class as Raymond, who just got paid.
Yeah.
And Stutzel's just about as good as Raymond is. So that's good class.
Yep. Don't forget Giroux.
Yeah, Claude. You can't ever forget Claude.
Claude Giroux, baby.
God dang, I remember him on the Flyers.
Yeah. Again, their lines aren't terrible. They got defense. Looks like they're pretty sound on defense. It looks like goaltender, man. You can't go wrong with Allmark.
Allmark. Don't gotta worry about that anymore.
I honestly feel like Allmark's a little bit better. I really do. But
then
Swayman. But
Swayman's younger.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing. Younger. That's basically why they use capped, I would say.
So, give or take, not terrible. Now I do honestly, if I'm gonna say anything about a bottom six, I like their bottom six. Mike Mario that they picked up, he's been solid for the Knights these last couple of years. Was solid with the Kings. Shane Pinto is amazing as well.
Yep.
They got Josh Norris, who can hopefully stay healthy and be good. David Perron they picked up.
Ooh.
It's
exciting.
They picked up some veterans and some guys that like to get rough and dirty. So
it's honestly looking at the lineup. It's interesting to see these guys match up, though.
It's not terrible. It really isn't. I like their offensive lines. I just don't like that coaching decision. I really don't. But Ottawa Senators.
New Jersey, so it'd be interesting to see how this goes, how this team plays out in the season. Ottawa
will be another fun thing. Maybe the coaching is just the right fit. You never know. Maybe just the coach didn't have the right fit, and now this is the team. And that's point that I really love to watch. So, another team, the last team on our list, Montreal Canadiens.
Honestly, might be one of the more exciting teams to watch this upcoming season.
100%. 28th in the league last year with 30 wins, 36 losses, 16 overtime losses for 76 points. Home and away record are both under 500 at home being 16, 20, and 5, away 14, 16, and 11. PK and power play both power play was at 27, PK at 24. So, again, got to work on that.
You see these bottom teams, their PK and power play are very bad. Yeah, like I said, that's a big stat. That
big stat. So, Martin St. Louis, come on, baby, get working on them. So, but, let's see. What did they do? They traded for, I don't know, Patrick Laine.
Only Laine.
He only played 18 games.
Man, if he could just be a little bit of what he used to be with Columbus or even Winnipeg, like that's a 30 to 40 goal scorer right there.
Yeah, and that's his big thing. I saw him say he doesn't want to come back being a 30 goal scorer. He wants to come back being a 40 goal scorer.
Exactly. So he's on a mission.
I think if we'll get into the lines, I think this is the perfect line for him to really produce.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, they made a lot of extensions, re-signed a lot of guys, so they're keeping their main team to bring back and go another year.
Yes, all their really young guys that need an extension or needed to be re-signed to give another boost, they did it.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing, and it's going to be another thing here, is the goaltending.
Oh, yeah, that's the biggest. That's one thing I'm surprised they didn't make a move on, is picking up a different goaltender. Like, if they would have picked up Allmark, this team is in playoff contention, no doubt.
100%.
No doubt they are, because they easily have the offensive defense. It's just their tendy. It's the only thing leaving them behind.
Yep.
Re-signing Slavaski or whatever.
Yep.
They also re-signed somebody else too. They gave an extension to, and they bring in Lane for that second line.
Yeah. And that's the
thing. Their main guys are young. They're all young guys.
A lot of these guys too have been in the playoffs.
Yeah, already.
That's the big thing. Like, and again, this is another team where I look at their lineup and I'm like, man, their bottom six is not terrible.
No.
And I haven't said that for anybody on the top teams, but these bottom two teams, I like their lineup. I really do.
I do too. I'm super surprised they don't match up very well. I mean, maybe Lane can come in and really bring that young core together.
Yeah.
With Doc, Suzuki, Caulfield, and Slavkovsky.
Yeah.
Like, and even Newhook. I mean,
with Patrick, their power play needs to be top.
If it isn't, then that coach needs to be let go. Because midway through the season, they should be almost top 5 even. Like, that's a scary lineup to have to face in the power play.
Yep, and a big thing too going on defensive side. One guy, I don't know who I really want to talk to about first, but let's go with Arbor. Arbor is a tough son of a gun, and he is scrappy. He fights. He scores. He got re-signed this year. He's gonna be fun to watch. And I actually saw a video of his brother. He's actually on the Canadiens team as a rookie. I don't know if he'll play or not, but he's the same thing. He got 2 minutes in his game at the rookie showcase, and he's already dropped his gloves.
Nice.
What a stud, dude! Like this guy, like he's.
I don't know who they have as an enforcer on this one. I don't know.
Arbor's their big enforcer. Big enforcer.
Yeah.
You don't mess with him.
I don't know. I feel though defense. You don't really want a defense between the enforcer, so you'd have an offensive guy.
Never know. One of these guys could do it. Josh Anderson's always been a little scrappy too.
Yep.
But a big defensive guy that's going to be his first year is Lane Hudson. This guy played for, was it Boston University, I think?
Big boy.
I don't even want to say Boston University. It's one of the Boston teams. I bet if I go Boston College or no, it's I don't know. I don't know which one, but I'll say either Boston College or Boston University because I don't want to say either one because that's probably a big rivalry. But I watched him play. I knew nothing about him. I watched the game, and I'm like memorized. Like watching the game, I'm just watching him because he was doing everything. He was a stud, and I'm like, where's this forward at? He's a D-man. I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't watch D guys, man. I watch forwards. So I'm excited to watch him in particular because of how freaking good he was in college, and I think he's going to be super good in the
paired
NHL.
up with David Savard.
Yeah,
so
David Savard is going to be a veteran that's going to help him be super good.
I'll say that help him build up a little bit, develop some.
But
I think their goalie and their defense a little bit.
Yeah,
defense maybe could bring if they could maybe bring in one other guy to help on the defensive side, and while also going for a goalie.
I think goalie for sure.
Maybe I mean trade deadline maybe. If you're in that contention to go into the playoffs, I'd say maybe make a move. And that all depends on how that season, that first half of the season goes.
Yeah, if you're 10 games out, you go for a goaltender.
Yeah, and so we'll see. I don't know. We'll see if their two goaltenders can Primu and Moltenbach, whatever, can
you never know.
Be a little bit better than they were last year because that was kind of their big downfall was their tendy.
Yeah, so I think those are gonna be that's gonna be the big sleeper. I think that team's gonna really be the one to prove one of the most, especially in the
Canadians are my wild card. It's hard to put them anywhere in that bottom three. I don't know. It's hard. I don't want to, but this division is so
It
tough.
is tough.
It's a deep division.
Yes.
The first top 5 could be anything.
Yeah, talking about top 5s and being tough division, we're going to get straight into our picks, into what we think it's going to line up. I think we'll just go with our number ones. My number one, I'm jumping on the bandwagon, I guess. But I think the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to be winning this division this year because of, one, their coach. I think their coach is going to be good. I think the guys are just going to be finally like, let's just get it done with and let's do it this year.
I can see a strong case for that.
So I think that's going to be great. I think they picked up some good defense. Their defense is solid for sure now with good veterans, and I believe their goaltending is the only issue, but I don't see it as a big issue. So I think Toronto for me is my number one pick. What about you?
Yeah, so for me, it's kind of basically probably what everyone is saying is that's Florida. I can't see Florida not being the number one just based on the fact that they bring in pretty much their full core, and they lost Cousins and Montour. Yeah, those are big losses, but I still think what they have is it's the same team pretty much coming in again.
Yeah.
And they know what they need to do. They know what it takes, and they know how to play. Not new. And so I just have a good feeling that that's probably going to be them and say number one. That's my pick. I just don't see much of a weakness.
Yeah.
In Florida.
No, I totally.
It's such a strong team to get by.
I can totally see. Like it was tough for me to honestly put the Maple Leafs because
I
of that.
honestly was thinking about it too, but I can't try. I just the prior years they've been so good, and you can't count on them.
I know.
In the end.
I know.
It's just one of those teams. It's just like you want to, but you can't.
And I'm going to.
They're going to let you down.
I'm going to this year. So, but yes, Florida is my number 2 pick. I think Florida's going to get second in the division. Again, it's hard to repeat. I think because of that, you got to bring them down just a notch. I think they're making the playoffs. I don't think they're going to be the number 1 division or number 1 spot in their division, but I can see them at being number 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're number 2, man.
My number 2, I actually surprisingly, I have Tampa.
Surprised you, huh?
Yeah, it was a tough choice honestly for me to pick them or the Leafs, and I think the biggest thing for me was just that the new coach for the Leafs was like, I know Tampa lost Stamkos, and I know that's a huge loss. We've talked about it, and everyone's talked about it, but I think bringing in those 2 players, especially Gunsel, to help out, I think it's gonna fill the hole more than what people think. And I actually think they'll be better off. Because, I mean, we had Stamkos come in, what he had, a -21 or whatever coming on the season. 79 games. That's basically almost a lot of times on the ice he's getting scored on. And the Gunsel coming in, and then the guy, I think personally that Tampa could, and it's because they retain their same coach, same goalies, a lot of the same players. And so with Hedman and Kucherov leading the charge, I think during the regular season at least, they'll have that number 2 spot. And then, of course, I have Toronto as number 3, and that's just because the new head coach.
Yeah.
Because I think they'll have it might be a little bit of struggle in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
But once they get in to more games and more, and probably once we come probably I'd say January, I'd say I'm gonna really turn it over and probably take over. But that's all. That's if that goes that way. I'm not saying it'll go that way. That new coach it's up in the air for me. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, Ryan's top 3 are Florida Panthers. He likes those Florida teams, I guess. Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. My number 3, which I was having a tough time. I honestly think my 3 through 5 could all be 3.
Yeah. So I'm with you on that. Even up to my 6th.
Yeah. I know. Even my 6th. Yes, I agree. My 6 could. I think my 6 could possibly be up to by the 4.
Yeah.
I couldn't see him at 3, but I could see him at 4. But my number 3 is Boston. I do think it's going to be tough for them, but I do think they squeak in on that 3rd one, if not the 3rd, as a wild card or, I don't know. But Boston's going to be tough no matter what. It's going to be a tough season for them, but I think they can make the playoffs. But yeah, after that for me, my 3 through 6 goes Boston, Tampa, Detroit, and Montreal, and I feel like any of those can be mixed around. And
easily.
And that's kind of almost looking like you. You have, after the Leafs on 3rd, you have Detroit, Boston, the Canadiens.
Yep.
And that's just kind of, so if you take our top 3s through 6s, they all can kind of be meshed around.
And I personally think I could almost put the Canadians over Boston just cause. But it's
when we talk about it,
it's just like, Boston. Man. I can't. They always somehow they come through no matter what the lineup, whatever they look like.
That's coaching and
it's gotta be.
I think.
It's just Boston. It's how Boston is. And they're a greedy damn team.
Yep.
And so, but with the Canadians, with adding Laine, I really do think Laine puts them over the edge. It gets them into the playoff spot, even at least a wild card spot, at least. But Detroit, I have Detroit up there in 4th. That's a big push by them. Yeah. I feel like they could make that push. I feel like they really could. I know they did a lot of moves, a lot of players moving around and everything. They brought in some new guys. Obviously adding Tarasenko, paired up with Kane, and then extending Raymond. But as long as Larkin can stay healthy, I think they can make that 4th spot. Yeah. And that's if Larkin can stay healthy.
Yeah, dude. I think this our top 5 for sure, because our top 6 are the same, or the bottom 6 are the same.
Yeah.
But that top 5, I could see all of them in the playoffs.
I could, yeah. That would be a crazy division.
That would be the division top 3 for the division. That both get 2 wild cards. I think that's correct, honestly, because next week when we talk about the Metropolitan, whatever.
Metropolitan, yeah.
Getting late, dude. But when we talk about them next week, you'll see that it's a little bit different.
And they're gonna be as strong as this division. It really isn't. Basically, the first, I'd say top 3 maybe are only going to be the really ones that really are going to have a chance.
So we'll get into that one next week. But yeah, finish this one off. We have 7 or 8 are exactly the same with the Sabres and Senators, and honestly, those probably could be flipped. I kind of, by talking now, I kind of like Senators a little bit up higher.
I don't know, honestly. But I would keep it that way. I just don't see the Senators really doing too much.
Yeah, no, I
really don't see them doing that. I think the Sabres are better off.
Yeah,
I just like the Sabres lineup a lot more. Personally.
So that's our picks for the Atlantic Division. We are super excited again. We have a segment here that we are, of course, going to start off, and it is
hopefully like it.
Hopefully, yeah, you guys like it.
And if you guys even find any clips, or if you guys are in
any of these clips, but we call this the Beer League Clip of the Week. So let's get right into that. Yeah, geez. So pretty much we find a clip on Instagram, YouTube, whatever, and we go through it, kind of the do's and don'ts of what not to do in Beer League and what you could do in Beer League, and just honestly stupidity, I guess.
Just a fun little video.
Yes. So we'll go through it here, and then we'll kind of go play by play a little bit and kind of see what we have in mind. So here we go.
Say about it. Oh, yes. If that isn't Beer League, then I don't know what is Beer League.
I love it, man.
I love that. So, that's just great.
Okay, so right off the bat, let's just kind of go. This guy gets the pass, right?
He's on a breakaway, empty net.
Yeah, breakaway, empty net. So we'd have to assume.
Yeah.
End of the game, we hear the buzzer go off. So end of the game, goaltender gets pulled. You try to tie the game up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm okay. Breakaway. I guess I was gonna say this puck doesn't get off the ice. Maybe it does get off the ice.
It's a little sauce.
A little bit. But fine, okay. It's Beer League. Do a fun little goal.
Yeah.
End of the night.
It's
end of the night. You've had fun. I don't care.
That's maybe try to make it look a little better.
Yeah.
Maybe look like a little more coordinated. And have a little bit better hands, but it's all right.
So
he's got bricks for hands.
Anyways, so that part I'm okay with. You can do that. That's a do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
Here comes a big don't. Okay. You don't turn around, Selly right in front of the opposing bench, because when you do that, you deserve this. Okay. So you just, God, I love that dodge, bro. That was a
bittersweet.
Nice.
Really.
But yeah, I don't know what you're thinking. You don't.
I mean, look at the wings on that guy.
Oh, I know. But dude,
full extension.
You don't do that. You don't do that. I don't even know if you guys need to see that, but he's full extension, palm on the ice, picking up some snow.
Yep.
You don't do that in front of that bench, and you deserve that.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at everybody else skating around, they don't want to be there.
Yeah.
And you were just, these guys worked a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
This is 10 p.m. at night.
Exactly.
you just did this, and you acted like you just scored the game-winning goal, the Stanley Cup, Game 7, and you tell him on the bench.
You don't.
You're probably gonna get some retaliation like that.
Do it. Yeah, just.
I'm sure I'll be thinking about that in the morning.
Yeah.
After he's putting some ice on his jaw.
Love it, and then like a nice little scrum.
Yeah.
So yes, you don't do that.
Typical beer league. You gotta love it.
So there you guys have it. Let us know what you guys think about the beer league clip. I think that's a perfect example of not.
Send them if you got any of your own.
Yes.
That you wanna maybe have shown on here.
Yes, and we will tell you the do's and don'ts for sure.
Yeah.
We won't let anything behind.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much again for being here with us. Hopefully it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Hopefully the first episode was all right.
We are super excited again to start this journey with you guys, and hopefully you guys can support us throughout our career with this. Is a career,
season,
whatever it is. But yeah, through the whole season, don't forget to follow us here on YouTube if you haven't. Subscribe. Put that bell. I guess that's important. I guess.
Yeah, ring that
whatever,
bell.
Whatever it happens.
Ring that bell, hit that subscribe button and like.
Yep. So YouTube, Twitter. We got TikTok and Instagram. Go follow that. A lot of our stuff is about the same on all that platform. Twitter's a little bit different, but yeah, overall, guys, we are super excited. We'll be back here next week. 8 o'clock. And
we'll be talking about the Metro.
Exactly.
Next week.
It'll be a fun one. So finish up the Eastern Conference here, and we will give you guys our top 8 on that one, and then what the division will look like.
And preseason.
Preseason, yes. Preseason starts this Saturday. We're super excited.
Yep, one step closer to the regular season.
Yeah, we are literally, I think, like 4 weeks away.
Yeah, we get to see some of the new teams play together.
I think our last episode will be aired, and then I think there's games that next week, or that day or something. I don't know.
That night or something.
I think that night there's games starting. So we're 4 weeks away, so we're super excited. And but yeah, again, thanks for coming. We will see you guys all hopefully next week.
Yes, sir.
Watch our videos that come out, and hopefully, we see you guys